I wanna welcome you to Professional Pets. We aren't the best, but we are so fresh. We got Rocky, and he's a vocal major for sure. He's a white-faced male. He spreads his wings like a kite, and he's got Rowan as a buddy. Rowan, he's cool. He likes to tweet and make really smooth tunes, but he's a normal tail instead. And did I tell you we got Chloe? She's a super hypo tangerine carrot tail leopard gecko. Oh yeah. And we got Zoe. She loves to play all day and wants you to enjoy the video. Hey guys, what's up? And today I'm going to talk to you about leopard geckos. So basically, I know I've done a lot of videos on leopard geckos and their care I've done little subjects on leopard geckos, but I've never done like a whole leopard gecko care video. And there are so many of these videos out on YouTube, and so many people have made them that have quit their accounts, still have their accounts, have made new accounts, and so I thought, you know, why not do one? And they were basically the videos I was watching before I got Chloe, and that's part of what inspired me to do YouTube, so I thought, you know, why not? So basically, I'm going to start from the ground up. You're basically going to see the cage sort of come together as I talk, and yeah, so let's just get to the video. It's gonna get hard to breathe. Hold tight, baby. Before we start, I just want to this is a 20-gallon long tank. Hear me when I say long, I didn't say tall. Leopard geckos need length because they walk. They don't climb on glass like crested geckos. Geckos that climb like crested geckos would need something like a 20-gallon tall, or something that's even not a 20-gallon, just a tall terrarium, so that they're able to use their sticky toes to climb, and that's what they like to do. Leopard geckos like to crawl, make sure that they have that amount of length space so that they're able to walk. And the lid was also free with the tank, and this was about $20. So, with the 20 or 30. So if you're gonna go to Petco, they may want upwards $50 for a tank like this. Try to find somewhere near you, or go on eBay, Amazon, something like that, and find a tank for cheap. They're not expensive, and Petco and PetSmart should be really ashamed for charging this much for tanks like this. And I know that sounds really bad, but it's true. They're not worth that amount of money. So definitely check around, and Petco has this awesome sale during the summer where it's like, or during May, April, something like that, and it's where $1 a gallon, so if you have a 10-gallon, $10, and that's a pretty good deal. So that's what this should be all year round. I don't know why they're not, but definitely try to find deals and definitely work it out. So basically, from the ground up, from on the bottom of Chloe's cage is reptile carpet. Reptile carpet is just like a regular carpet. Like, there's nothing really bad about it. The only thing I find wrong with it is that, especially for new leopard geckos, as they start to get used to food, if you're feeding them, and say that you take the tweezer, you get the worm, and then you put it in the cage, and it's not in a food bowl, say it's just on the reptile carpet or something where it drops, and the gecko goes to eat it, sometimes their face will sort of get stuck into the carpet, and that sounds like really gross. But it's not as bad as you would think. They can get out, you know, it's just like they bite so hard that it just sort of goes into the carpet. So just be mindful of that, but the only other option you really have is paper towel or some type of paper, because if you're using sand of any type, reptile sand, I don't care if it says impaction safe sand, I don't care what it says, you're hurting your gecko. You're possibly hurting your gecko. I'm not saying that you are, but you have the potential to hurt it. Sand causes impaction, which is basically all that sand your gecko, when your gecko goes to bite the reptile carpet to get the food, it bites reptile carpet, and they don't digest carpet. Sand, you'll get a whole scoop of sand and one worm. All that goes in, all that sand builds up in their stomach, and that causes them to not be able to release food properly, and basically can kill your gecko. So go with reptile carpet, paper towel, or that's basically it. I don't have any other options for you. If you want to go with sand, there are a lot of people who are really stubborn, and I hate to call you that, but I mean, really have to want the best for them. If there's a chance that sand is more harmful than reptile carpet, I don't understand why people go with sand. Moving on. There is a shelter there, and a shelter there, and a shelter there. So there's 3 shelters in Chloe's cage. You've got a hot hide, a middle hide, and a cool, well, like the middle hide is sort of the cool hide, and then you have the humid hide. You can have as many hides as you want. Just make sure that you at least have about 3, and one must be the humid hide, one for the cool side and the other for the hot side of the cage. Starting with the hot side, it can just be a regular rock cave. There's nothing really special about them as I'm showing here. It's just a regular rock cave. For the cool side, same thing. You do want to try and get different types of hides, because if your gecko's walking on the same texture, like in the wild, the same texture doesn't go for miles and miles and miles, if that makes sense. There's different types of textures, there's different things to walk on in the wild, and so make sure that you're trying your hardest to implement that wild habitat into the cage so that your geckos feel truthfully at home. So on top of one of the cool hide, I have leaves, and those are artificial leaves. If you go outside, get some leaves, bring them back in, unless they were in your garden or something where you don't spray pesticides or your community doesn't spray pesticides, because my sort of backyard, I guess you would say, is a community thing. The community sprays pesticides, may sit on it, may stomp on it, may do all this stuff to it, and so when you're getting things like that, don't go outside to your biggest park where you live and get a leaf and say, oh, my gecko will love this. They'll love it, but it can also kill them because there's pesticides on it and there's things on it that they just cannot handle. There are chemicals in the pesticides, and it's meant to kill things, not geckos, but, you know, what can you do? I don't know. So just make sure that you're really being careful. If you're going to get things from outside, try to make sure that they weren't sprayed with anything, chemicals, pesticides, anything. And when you get something in from outside that wasn't sprayed with anything, go wash it, because if you didn't know, rain has acid and all these things that are outside. Just really go wash things. So whether you get them from outside or not, you should be really washing them. Artificial stuff, wash. These are artificial leaves on top of the cool hide. The cool hide is a different texture from the hot hide, and between the hot hide and the cool hide, I have basically it's a Java wood thing that Chloe can climb on. It's very similar texture to the hot hide, but it's a lot smoother, so yeah, so she doesn't really have that much of a chance of hurting herself when she's going up there. And it's Java wood. If you cannot, I couldn't find anything really like that at a pet store, so if you can't, you may want to check out a Reptile Expo. Just look online and type in Reptile Expo, and you'll hopefully find one near you. You may have to do a little road trip, just like I had to get to one, but it's pretty okay. You'll be able to find. The right side of the cage, there is a humid hide. Humid hides, I did this whole filming thing on it, and so I deleted it by accident, but I'm just going to show you. So for a humid hide, you're going to get a Tupperware bowl from supermarkets or from wherever. They're like $2, $1, depending on where you live, I guess. Cut a hole into the base, not the lid. You're going to cut a hole that your gecko can fit through, so Chloe can fit through that, and then you're going to either want to burn the hole, or you're going to tape it so that it's not rough. If it's rough and your gecko can scrape her skin or hurt his skin, and you don't want to have to go to the vet for something so simple and such as something that could have been avoided so easily. Chloe's a little worried about what's going on here. Now, I usually don't do that to Chloe, which is why she was kind of confused. So this is basically where Chloe is, which is she's on the lid of it. The lid should be lined with paper towels, tissues, something soft. You can rip it up and then just put it there, spray it down. It basically, through the water, will attach itself. Each little paper towel or whatever will attach itself to the other one. Because you're spraying it, it should be a completely wet airspace. After that, you're going to have a water dish. You should be filling the water dish daily. So basically, you're going to put purified water, that's bottled water, the water that comes in the huge jugs, like this. So either that water, bottled water, or something like that. If you don't have bottled water, you're going to fill it with tap water, and then you're going to put ReptiSafe, which is just a little bottle, and it's sort of really has a little nozzle, and you just put 2 drops. You put 3, you put 4, do it over, because that's what I had to keep doing, which is why I only do bottled water for Chloe now. I used to use ReptiSafe when the nozzle on the container worked, and as it progressed, it stopped working.
goal to stay afloat as long as you hold me. We've been through rough water, anytime it was.
For food, geckos need their food to be very, very healthy, or else they are not going to be healthy. If you have crickets, so you're going to get cricket quencher and cricket food. All of that you're going to feed to the crickets. The crickets are going to eat it, they're going to love it, and then you're going to put the crickets in a bag. You're going to put them in the bag, you're going to open the bag. You're going to put whatever calcium you're using for the day. There's either with D3, without vitamin D3, or multivitamins. So you're going to dust the crickets with that inside the bag. It's called shake and bake. I never call it that. I think it's a weird name. I don't know. So, because you're not baking anything, you're just shaking. So you're going to shake it, and then you take them out with the tweezer and you feed it to your gecko. Your gecko gets all the nutrients from the calcium that's dusted on the crickets. The crickets are going to look like they've been put in a capsule full of snow. And gecko is going to get all the vitamins from that, and they're also going to get the vitamins that the crickets ate. If you feed your crickets absolutely nothing, your gecko is just eating a shell. So crickets are just a shell with whatever you stuff into them. You can feed them like other fruits, I think, like not fruits, like vegetables, carrots, potatoes. I feed my mealworms potatoes, and basically I slice the potato, I put oats in the container, I put the potatoes in the container, and I put the mealworms in the container, and the mealworms eat the potato, they crawl through the oats, I take them out when I'm ready, and I dust them with the vitamin, without D3, with D3 a multivitamin, and then I put them in the cage, and Chloe eats them. With D3 vitamin is sort of for strong bones, so you do want to use that the most, but you don't want to use it too much. Without D3 vitamin, I have not been able to find this at all, so I've been putting multivitamin. You should always have a container inside the cage just of calcium, and so it should be without D3. It should be a container full of without D3 vitamin, and I've been using multivitamins for that because I ran out of without D3, and no pet store near me has it, and I've been looking for forever. So your gecko will lick that maybe 2 times a year, and that's the same for water. Your gecko will not be drinking the water a lot, so don't expect to see it, and don't stop filling the water, and also don't stop filling the calcium dish because you don't see your gecko eating or drinking it. They will do it. You probably won't see them. For food, your gecko can also have phoenix worms. There are so many different types of worms. Dubai roaches. I've heard of so many different types of food for your geckos. So if you go to a reptile expo, you'll definitely see all of this food laid out, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, it's like reptile heaven. And you can definitely like see all that stuff, and it'll be really, really cool. So definitely check out and try to learn about all the foods you can get to give your gecko so they have a variety. Chloe, I've tried phoenix worms on, she's hated them. Yeah, so basically I paid, and phoenix worms aren't the cheapest worms out there, so she ate nothing, and so yeah. But it's all about making your gecko happy and trying your best to do that.
But the fact I came back to remind you I love you, and if that's not enough.
For decoration, I just put rocks. Don't go and spend all this money at Petco, $10 for rocks or decorative rocks. Just go and get some from like a 99-cent store or something, and make sure that you're washing them, and that way they'll be clean and fresh, and your gecko, make sure that they're not small. If they're super small, your gecko can eat them, digest them, and once again be killed. Please do your best to make sure that the size is appropriate for your gecko so that they're not eating it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. ProfessionalPets.
I feel your oxygen when you're running out of patience. So take a deep breath and hold it tight. My heart is yours, just reassure me that you hold it right. Don't be offended, I'm just the cautious type to always be around and hold you down and never underlie. Never let go of me. Never let go. Hold tight, it's gonna get hard to breathe. Hold tight, baby.